Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Thursday, February 16th, 2023. Off Thursday episode this week, and I'm late again, like I was a little while back. Had a little bit of a busy morning, so a little late, so I should be saying good afternoon, wrestling fans. Well, it's 11:59, about to turn noon. So hopefully, while listening to this episode, you can eat lunch or something, or watch the 12 o'clock news, or work out at the gym, or just go for a walk like I am right now. Talk some pro wrestling. And I didn't have anything prepared yet, any certain topic or anything to talk about this morning. So just on this episode, might talk about some random pro wrestling. Thursday, so that means tonight we have Impact Wrestling on Access TV. And like I was saying the other day, the unfortunate passing of Jerry Jarrett, which I would not be surprised if on Impact tonight. I know it's taped already, but I wouldn't be surprised if they add a opening graphic at the beginning of the show, kind of like how they did with Don West when he passed away. Unfortunately, they could do something like that. And should be a good episode of Impact Wrestling tonight on Access TV. And then right after that, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Just a reminder, have a episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic episode from last night, talking about last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. So, like I said, don't really have a whole lot to talk about on this episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. This Saturday, big day coming up. We have WWE Elimination Chamber and New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley. Let me know in the comment section right here on Spreaker or wherever you are listening. Let me know your picks for both shows, and I'm sure most people will probably be doing what I'm doing, since the Elimination Chamber starts first, and watch that live, and then as soon as that is over, watch Battle in the Valley. Luckily on Fight TV you can choose to start over from the beginning after your event has started. I remember back, you used to not be able to. You used to have to either join it live or wait till the replay. But now, Fight does have the feature where you can choose to start watching it from the beginning if you're a little late, and then you don't have to join the event already in progress. So that works out pretty well. Also, want to get back to Impact Wrestling just real quick. I just brought up the lineup here on my phone, and this should be a very good match we have tonight. Chris Bay taking on Kushida. That should be a very interesting match to see, or at least you would expect a good match between those two fantastic wrestlers. Been very impressed by Chris Bay as of late, and been impressed with Kushida, his time New Japan Pro Wrestling. He didn't really have too much of a long run in NXT, but now back in New Japan and also competing for Impact Wrestling as well. Steve Maclin taking on Rhino in a no surrender number one contenders qualifying match. Kenny King taking on Rich Swann, who will be challenging Josh Alexander for the Impact Wrestling World Championship at No Surrender. Eddie Edwards and Heath in another qualifying match. And Alicia Edwards taking on Masha Slamovich. That is tonight's episode of Impact Wrestling on Access TV. And just real quick, I just want to mention, I mentioned this on the podcast before, that I've been thinking of trying to come up with a rating system for matches. And I really don't want to do just the regular stars, like give out 3 out of 5 stars or whatever. I want to try to come up with my own thing. As I mentioned, I wish I would have thought of this, what Pro Wrestling Illustrated does with the suplexes when they have reviews of books or any other wrestling products. They like 3 out of 5 suplexes, 4 out of 5 suplexes. I want to try to think of something that is my own thing like that nobody else is doing, but I haven't been able to decide on one thing just yet. I've been thinking of maybe, hopefully this doesn't sound too silly, let me know what you think in the comments, but I've been thinking of ring bells, maybe do 3 out of 5 ring bells or 4 out of 5 ring bells. Maybe that's a little silly. Let me know what you think in the comments, or you could always email 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com, or if you have an idea and want to suggest something that I could do for this match rating system. Also, I haven't decided just yet when I start this if I want to do it for TV shows or just pay-per-views and special events. I haven't decided just yet, but hopefully soon I will decide on something, some kind of system to rate matches, whether it's every show I recap or just possibly the pay-per-views and the special events, things like that. Also, I know I've been saying this for a little bit now, but the 360 premium subscription thing on Anchor, I hope to do a show for that. I don't want to say just yet, but I have been thinking about what the first one's going to be. I just have to record it and post it. I need to think of a name for it instead of like just premium subscription, kind of like how Post Wrestling has the Post Cafe, and obviously adfreeshows.com, which is a Patreon, but they have a name for it. And I want to try to think of maybe a name for it. I don't know if it's just maybe VIP or but something else other than just premium subscription. So also, if you have any suggestions, either leave them in the comments or email 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. I'll give you credit. I'll mention that you're the one that came up with the name for this thing, which hopefully I will start posting on soon. And I would like to get back to live streaming again. I've said many times here on the podcast, definitely not the best tech computer person in the world, but I would like to start doing some live streams again. I'm not sure if that's going to be happening anytime soon, but hopefully sometime in the future, not too far future, but hopefully it will happen again at some point. As always, stay tuned to 360 Wrestling Podcast. Hopefully we will continue to get bigger and better, and keep watching on the YouTube channels as well. I do audio versions too, but the YouTube versions, you can actually see the unboxings I'm talking about, either the Pro Wrestling crates or the AEW All Elite crates. The AEW crates are only quarterly, so don't get as many of them as Pro Wrestling Crate, which is every month. But those are always fun videos to make with my two guest co-hosts, or sometimes it's just one, but Bruiser, Brody, and Madison help out with the unboxings if you've seen any of the videos before in the past. And that's all for today's episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Like I said, hope to have more 360 Wrestling Fanatic episodes up. Hopefully I won't get lazy or anything. I know I'm the worst podcaster there is, but stay tuned. But tomorrow we'll be back for the Friday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Don't worry, we'll be back at the regularly scheduled time. I apologize if the last minute or so been a little out of breath. Had to run across the street here on my walk. So, hope everyone has a great Thursday. Hope everyone enjoys Impact New Japan tonight on Access TV. Until next time, keep watching pro wrestling.